Believe it or not, I do cases where I don't involve accusations of criminal conduct, like where someone broke the law. I deal in more civil, what we call civil litigation or civil disputes. So let me give you an example of this, okay? Raise your hand if you went to Arbor Springs. All right. If you've heard this before, don't share it with anybody. I'm gonna erase this. Let's say, who wants to be our next test subject? Lily, right? Thank you for raising your hand. Lily lives here in this property. She has a nice house. Lily plays soccer, right? She has a nice soccer field down here. And one day she planted a tree. Nice big oak tree. Great. Great year. So who's the boy that lives next to Lily? Someone we haven't called on. What's your name again? Mikkel? Mikkel. Right? Am I saying that right? Am I saying that right, Mikkel?
Yes.
All right, Mikkel lives right next to Lily. And I'm going to put L for Lily. I'm going to put, Mikkel lives in a nice big house. What's your favorite car? What car do you drive?
I drive
Mini.
Just give me a car.
A minivan.
Lamborghini. Oh, that's nice. So he drives a nice Lamborghini. Am I a good artist?
Yes.
All right, so he drives a Lamborghini. And Mikkel and Lily are good buds. They go out and play soccer and basketball and football and types of things. And they have Thanksgiving dinner together. But but winter comes, and guess what happens? One day, Mikkel wakes up, and guess what's happened?
Tree fell on the car.
Oh, you didn't hear any of that because you didn't raise your hands.
That's exactly right. Thank you. So the tree has fallen at night. And guess what Mikkel does?
Scream.
He goes and he says to Lily, hey, Lily, I thank you for inviting me over to Thanksgiving. I like playing soccer with you, but I need you to pay for my tree. And Lily says, you know what? I like you, Mikkel. You're a nice guy. You helped me out in school. And you helped me eat Thanksgiving dinner, but I didn't do anything to that tree. It just fell. So now Mikkel, his Lamborghini's broken. His house is partially destroyed because it was a big oak tree. He's got to go talk to a very professional person, a lawyer, right? Sorry about that. And a lawyer, so he comes into my office. I'm going to ask Mikkel one question. One question. What do you think that question is that I asked Mikkel to help resolve this civil dispute? What's your name again? Asher. What would I ask Mikkel? One question. That's a pretty good question. Not exactly it, but that's a pretty good question. Duncan.
Was there any marks on the tree if there's like an axe or chainsaw?
So you're going to wonder if someone would cut it down. Okay. All right. Let's assume that's not what happened, but that's a good thought. What's your name again in the back? Brady. What question would you ask if you were a lawyer? Everyone put on your lawyer hat. What question would you ask Mikkel if you were a lawyer?
Was it her tree?
Well, we know it was her tree because it was on her property, right? Okay, so that's a good idea. What else? And the Under Armour shirt. What would you say? What was your name? What was your name? I can't hear you. Kirkley. Okay.
Are there any witnesses?
Okay. Someone witnessed the tree fall. That's a good question, but that's not one I would ask first. In the white shirt, what would you say?
Do you have insurance?
That's a good question, but that's not what I'd ask. What was your name again? Jacob. Even before that, I would ask another question. Austin.
Austin, what happened?
Okay, but that's not the exact question I would ask. Blue shirt.
Well, John, I thought, was it enough damage for you to come and see her?
Before I even ask that question, because he's already come to me, so I already know something bad's happened. I already know it was Lily's tree that fell. Elise?
Anise, did you get any damage, harm to, like, did you get any
He's already
harm
come to me,
you?
so I already know that there's damage to his car. But that's
No,
okay.
like to him, bodily.
No, he was asleep in his bed. I think he's okay. Fortunately. Any other thoughts? And then in the back.
Oh, good. Did lightning strike the tree?
That's a good question, but that's not the one I would ask. Miss Page, do you have any ideas?
I had one a minute ago.
Okay. The question I'd ask is specific about the tree and what condition it was in.
Was it dead?
Wait, what's your name?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah. Was it dead? That's the $1 million question. Good job. She should go to law school and be a lawyer.
Here's our money.
So why would I ask if the tree was dead or not? Sigh.
Because if it was dead,
Everyone put on your lawyer hat and listen up.
If it was dead, it could have fallen on its own, but if it was alive, someone would have had to cut it down.
Okay, that's a very good point. So what he is saying is if the tree was dead, it could have fallen on its own. So what does the law say? This is common sense. What do you think the law says if something is dead, a tree is dead on your property? What are you supposed to do? What's your name? Riley? What do you think the law says if the tree is dead on your property, especially if it's hanging over someone else's Lamborghini? Yeah, you should go to law school too. You got to cut that tree down. Why do you have to cut a dead tree down? Aaliyah?
Because something worse might happen to it, like it might be a really tall tree and like fall on your whole house.
Someone might get injured. Someone's car might get broken. Someone's house might get destroyed. And so the law says if you have a dead tree on your property, you probably need to take it down, especially if it's may hurt somebody. All right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So you guys can all be lawyers, right? Now here's another question: how do you know if a tree is dead or not? That's a silly question. That's probably not something you thought you'd be talking about in 6th grade in Miss Page's class this morning, right? Alyssa?
because the leaves fall off. Wait, no.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. But what if it's winter?
I don't know.
All right, Duncan.
You could see if it's dead if the bark is shaving on its own.
That's a great one. The bark is starting to slough off because in the winter, remember we said this was around Thanksgiving or Christmas, and maybe the leaves have already fallen off. What does the tree look like in summer? I would say, Mikhail, well, what did the tree look like in summer? Did it have any leaves on it? Or was the bark falling off? What are some other ways we can know if a tree is dead? Someone that hasn't given me any information. What's your name? April. What is another way we can tell if a tree is dead? Yeah, so maybe there's other branches that had fallen. Or maybe Mikhail and Lily, while they were playing soccer outside, they had said, oh, I like that tree, but it looks like it's dying. And she says, yeah, I need to take it down. Uh-oh, Lily's in trouble, huh? Yeah.
It would be like tilted.
Yeah, you guys know the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
Yes.
Yeah. What if that tree looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa? Pisa, right? Then you're going to say, Mikhail's going to say, man, Lily, you should have taken that tree down. So I would tell Mikhail, if that tree was dead, I would say, you probably have a case, and we probably need to try and get Lily to pay for it. But if the tree was alive, then what do we do? And the tree fell. Then we start saying things like, well, how did that tree fall? Did someone cut it down? Someone talked about that. Or lightning. Then we call lightning or something like that an act of God or something, a natural disaster that no one could have prevented. And if that's the case, then no one's responsible. All right? Isn't that kind of cool how you can kind of start to look at things and examine them according to what the law says? That's a little bit about what I do for a living. When people come to me with a problem, I try and figure out how the law applies to help them solve it. All right? Does that sound kind of cool? So let's take the rest of the time. I want to take the last few minutes I have and see if you guys have any questions. What questions do you have for me as an attorney?
So like,
John Michael, right? Yeah.
what would happen if Mikhail were to like cut the tree down and they would fall on his property? So he'd hurt a big tree.
What do you think would happen?
I think he'd go to jail. And he would probably go to court and
Yeah. So the law says if you harm someone negligently, or if you don't use the care of a reasonable person, or if you're not careful about something, you hurt someone, then you should have to pay for whatever happened to that person, right? It's kind of like in what I do on a very regular basis is car accidents. So if someone rear ends you, you pull up to the stop sign, right? Raise your hand if you've ever been in a car accident. Oh, holy cow, that's a lot. Do you have to? Yeah, so you pull up to the stop sign, and the person behind you goes and hits you. And you're like, oh, I gotta go to the doctor, right? So that person should probably pay for medical bills if they did that, right? Kind of like this, if there was a reason that this tree should have been known it was gonna fall down, and they don't do anything to take care of it, you may have to pay for that person's car or vehicle or something like that, whatever damages caused.
I think someone made a comment though, what happens if Mikhail cut it? That would be like fraud, right?
Yeah, so.
That's
if-
kind of what they were talking
Oh,
about.
I see, I see what you're saying. So if Mikhail went and said, I need a new car, so I'm gonna get Lily to pay for it, cut it down, yeah, that wouldn't be good. We go look at the tree. I've actually hired arborists. Do you guys know what an arborist is?
Detective.
What was that?
A detective.
We'll call it a tree detective. An arborist deals with
You just need
trees.
to cut it.
I've actually had to hire a tree before, where a tree fell, and I had to ask the expert if that tree was dead or dying, right? And the expert, in most of the cases, say, yeah, that's a tree that they should have known was about to fall down. So that's a good question.
Anise,
Anise, what question do you have for me?
how many years of law school